So, for instance, for doing this, we started with confirming that the raw talking to a card works. Good, that works. Right, we can now spend time making a slightly flashier application, then completed the application, then did a final test builds to make sure that it works on the device. So that gives you simulation test harnesses. Any system that you build, you need to go through all the partial failure scenarios. And I've got a couple of readers here which are rather interesting. They're supported by libNFC, and they're card readers, which is great. So the card on there, you can read the card and write to it. But they have another magic ability, well, not magic, because obviously Clark told us it's not magic. They have another interesting capability, is that they can pretend to be a card. So, got wire down there, put a computer in between them. I can stick the card on one, and then I can put that on the system that we're developing. And then I can watch the APDUs that are actually going between the card. So you may think your code's doing X, Y, Z. Oh, include it in the debugging these log cards. This will really tell you what the APDU is getting between the cards. And what this lets you do is, with a final build of the system, is that you can introduce partial failure scenarios. Is that you can block messages being sent without having to, oh, I'll just pull that card off after 1.5 seconds. You can go through rigorously and put in your scenarios what happens if the third message fails, or the fifth message, or only the response fails. Which makes testing a hell of a lot easier if you've got robust, reproducible test scenarios rather than the pulling away. So there we go, we come to a summary. So, invented in 1968, that feels like a long time ago. We've gone through the different types of cards and readers, and when you think of the different types of cards, you think, well, you've transport, finance, security, access to buildings, even just loyalty schemes. There's a whole wide range of different applications that can be used for these cards. And then when you start getting into the reader side of things, well, this reader is of a form factor that I can put it in a phone, I can put it in a vending machine, I can put it on somebody's desk. What else can I start doing with this? With standards, the good things is that people are abiding by the standards. That means that I can, if I'm doing a card system, I don't have to stick to one vendor to provide my card. I've got standard ways of writing code to run on cards. I've got standards for how the cards behave. I can choose different types of readers. I'm not locked into a single system. We've got standards for how those applications talk to those devices. We have standards for how the cards behave. Within vertical markets, we have got standards organisations that are working out the standard APDUs that will be used for, say, security systems, for transport, for finance. And then we come to the APIs for us, the coders, having to make systems that work. Except for .NET. So that's it. Well, any questions? Yes?
What sort of specifications of the smart code standard uses, and is it possible to load notifications onto it?
The plastic card is basically a ROM mod, so that's the cheapest way we can deliver the card, and so you can't write the application onto that. But the intention is that in the future, when global platform cards are more accepted, that then once you're on the global platform, then you will be able to have the multiple applications. The USB, that is a JCOP compliant, but it's not open platform yet. So with at the time of manufacture, we can put multiple applications, but Joe user can't put code onto it yet. Yes.
Talking about platform cards, what's the sort of time frame for getting a tech and stuff? When will we see them? And generally, you say a bank card will be a platform card in 2 years, or will they not go there?
I can imagine. I think that's a reasonable time frame. It's up to the banks to schedule their own time frame. We're out there now, and what we're saying is that we've got an application that if that if a bank wants to issue a card, then our application will also be compatible with your application. So if, like, over time, I think people will be less worried about who the actual issuer of the card was. It's whether that organisation provides an application for it. And so after a while, the actual ink, unless it's an identity card and put your picture painted on it, the actual ink that's on the card will actually become more and more irrelevant.
That's exactly where my question was coming from. I was wondering, can you see that happening?
Yes. Well, I don't have a crystal ball,
No.
but it is the logical progression.